Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Fantastic Four issue 25, 2022. Oh, that's pretty cool right there. I really dig that cover, and it kind of fits with the kind of craziness that they're kind of looking into. Just a note, this one's $4.99. I don't know if that's what they're changing it to. It didn't seem like there was a lot extra or whatnot in this, so just keep that in mind for this. Now, I did overall enjoy this one, though I did get a little bit irritated with how Johnny's kind of handled towards the end of it. So, we pop off and we see the Fantastic Four kind of at Latveria, trying to figure out what's going on with this dome. They call themselves the Fantastic Four, translated from they're human beings built around internal supports they call a skeleton, itself radiating out of a long, hard central tube they call a spine. I have no idea where Doom would even get the metal for that. A dome big enough to cover his whole country? I don't believe he could. I believe this dome is magical, which, as we feared, means it's magically resisting my powers. I can't turn it invisible, so there's no saying what Doom's up to in there. And they call their planet Earth. It's a world not my own. As we see them kind of just trying to figure out what Doom's doing, which makes sense. You're right to want to investigate, Reed. With Doom becoming Sorcerer Supreme and now locking himself and his people away from the world, talking about revolt and developments, it happened in Blood Hunt issue 5, Tom. Well, even magic's gotta melt, right? Flame on! Foo, 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 foo. And of course, after Johnny tried to do some shit, we pretty much get this panel where they get fucked up. Plang! That's actually a really cool page right there. I just love the use of purple and the wording and them just like being like, what the fuck? So the odds of me ever encountering a being from this earth were, to put it mildly, astronomically small. It should never have happened, and yet it did. This is my story, and it's a love story. It's the story of a woman who fell in love with an alien, and of the thrilling, funny, romantic, fiery alien who loved her back. The Fantastic Four in Star-Crossed. So we see that they have now been transported or whatnot into a different kind of locale. Well, kids, we ain't in Kansas anymore, that's for darn sure, or, Latveria. I just touched the dome and then bam, some sort of portal Doom set up. A security system, maybe? I think so. I felt some very strange EM radiation when you did it. The vegetation is remarkable, photosynthetic, clearly, but without cyanobacteria, and absorbing the energy-rich green-yellow area of the spectrum is more efficient than reflecting it. That's the first thing that strikes you, bud. The fact that they got purple plants here? No, the first thing that struck me was the gravity. It's below Earth normal. If it were sunny, Eratosthenes' method would let me calculate this world's circumference and conclude whether it's smaller or just less dense. I'm sorry for mispronouncing that. Eratosthenes. Yeah. But either way, Ben, you're right. We aren't in Kansas anymore. We aren't even in our solar system. I believe Johnny is correct. Victor magically protected his dome, and part of those protections was to transport anyone who interfered with it to someplace else. So we're lost on an alien world with no way back to Earth. Again. And that means we should start either finding a way home or making one. Come on, let's go. Let's get to it. Damn straight suit. The four aliens explored our world, finding ways to drink our water. Boil it, Johnny. Can't be too safe. Already on it, sis. There we go. And over the course of many hours, discovered which plants they could eat. The cellular structure is entirely unlike anything found on Earth. It's remarkable. Thankfully, minerals are universal, and we should be able to process at least some of these carboxylitic organic compounds without too much difficulty, as we see Reed's eyes being like, look at what the fuck, I'm looking at this shit. They even encountered some of the local fauna that live in our wilderness. Fascinating. And I really love that she was able to do the little invisible umbrellas over them. And thankfully managed to survive. Yeah, well, you can study it, big brain, when it's not trying to eat us. Honk, as Ben just pretty much thunks the shit out of it. I look forward to it, old friend. And then, days after their arrival, anything actually, yeah, I think it's a city. They finally found us. It's like, ooh, let's see where this plot now goes. You know what happened next? The aliens presented themselves to us, telling us they were strange explorers sent here by accident, telling us they were from the stars in peace. As we see them trying to communicate and seeing the things not working out as well until we get to the point where they do. And we couldn't understand a thing they were saying. They spoke in bizarre, modulated tones running all over the spectrum instead of in the natural clicks. But the aliens figured out a way to translate, and soon, thanks to their technology, we could understand each other. Then we pretty much see Johnny and one of the aliens pretty much getting together. I was assigned to be the liaison for the youngest of the aliens, he who emerged from the gale with a name to match, Johnny of the Storm. I gotta admit, I'm impressed with all this. Your whole world, how so? It's just a bunch of crazy aliens like us showed up on our world. It's just, if a bunch of crazy aliens like us showed up on our world, especially in like old-timey times, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have been as welcoming as you have. Honestly, we probably would have tried to burn them as witches. Ah, so you humans fear outsiders. No, not all of us, and not all the time. But you never do you? It's honestly really inspiring. Here, all of us travel repeatedly throughout our lives. Our world is one giant continent, so all of us know that we will one day be the strangers too. And thus we greet them as we would greet ourselves. That's actually pretty cool. And shows the difference between having different kind of continents and seas and those different kind of obstacles to getting to places. I love that. Your world. What do you call it again? Gay. It means soil. Not that far from mine. Earth. It means soil too, I guess? Huh. I never realized what a super boring name we gave our planet until just now. And their umbrellas are actually pretty cool. Anyway, we're not here for long. A few months tops. Reed's certain that with your technology level, you can build a rocket ship to get us home. And this despite the fact that our world is not as advanced as yours. Hey, ours has more inventions, sure, but it's I'm not so certain that means that we're more advanced. But yeah, if anyone can do it, it's him. And I like how Johnny brought that up. You could have more shit, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're more advanced. Yeah, you could have 30 fucking different kind of types of light bulbs, but if another place has only like one type of light bulb, that could mean that they've advanced the light bulb to be like, that is the most efficient thing, and then also have like nuclear fusion power. He's all, as you know, Jonathan, both molecular structures and the laws of physics are universal. Thus, the atomic compounds and processes required to produce them thankfully remain a known quantity. Yes, and I agree with Reed on that. Huh, a remarkable impression. You're funny, Johnny of the Storm. Oh, I get by. Hey, you want to see how I can light myself on fire? Like, I'm surprised you didn't lead off with that, Johnny. And I really love the art there, because just it's like, hey, you want to see something cool? As the days passed, Reed and the Richards began work on a construction yard outside of town as Susan of the Storm began a knowledge exchange with our scientists. Each of our organs has a specific purpose. Only a few can be removed without significant impact. Johnny here has all of his. Incredible. And I was chosen to return the exchange. Angelica of the Shore, if you please. You won't feel anything, Angelica. It's absolutely safe. I promise. Of course. Please proceed. And it's really kind of cool as we see Sue has made Johnny invisible to his skin, at least, to show his internal organs and such. Now we still see the mustache. That's interesting. I didn't really notice that before. And then, of course, we then start looking at the other inhabitants. As you can see, in contrast, our bodies rely less on specialization and more on redundancy, which is interesting. It's like, okay, which one would work out better? Because if you get tanked, if you're specialized, it works very well for that process. But if it gets taken out, you fucked. Redundancy, it might not be as specialized, but if it gets taken out, another one can pick up the slack. And as our scholars explain what we know of ourselves to her, I have a strange feeling. It's silly. There's no secrets here, nothing inside our shells that is considered salacious in any way. It's natural. But as Johnny of the Storm looks at me in awe and excitement, and what I already recognize as wonder written all over his face, I feel glad that I was the one chosen to be his liaison. I realize I like his attention, as we see her being like, oh, okay. So one evening, when there was a rare break in the rain, I invited him to come cloud watching with me. I don't think I'll ever get used to how quick your days are. 13 hours, that's so fast. How long are they on Earth? 24. 24? You stay awake for 12 hours every day? Actually, more like 16. How are you not exhausted all the time? Yep. That's the problem. I think we just evolved for it, you know? And our seasons are different too. From what I understand from your elders, yours are a lot wilder. Our rainy seasons last for But when it ends, the stars come out. They're beautiful. Sorry, the translator didn't catch it. The rain release seasons last how long? Many, many weeks? A third of the year? Oh, months. It lasts for months. What's a month? It's like 1/12 of the year on my world. I think they're based on moon cycles somehow. Then that explains why we don't have a word for it. K has no moon. Well, that's too bad, Angelica the Shore, because on Earth there's nothing more romantic than taking a walk by moonlight. We see Johnny putting on his best kind of player. Not player, but like his best, easygoing kind of like thing with the romantic kind of stuff. What is it like to have light throughout the night? It never gets dark? No, it's dark, but the moon gives off a softer light, like a silver glow over everything. It's like this, as Johnny's able to recreate the moon, which is actually pretty fucking cool. It's beautiful. It's the most beautiful light I've ever seen. Most beautiful you've seen so far. See, I can make a ton of different lights. Oh, I bet you can. Your evenings and nights will still last way too long, though. Ha! Johnny of the Storm, can I kiss you? It's like, ooh, interesting here. Ooh. I mean, I'd be lying if I say I wasn't thinking of asking you the same thing, but, how do we... Come on, come, you're an explorer. You can figure it out. As they then start smooching, it's like, okay, let's see how this goes. Oh, Johnny! Okay. And as the days turned to weeks, Johnny and I became closer and closer. He taught me what he knew of engines, their craftsmanship and power, the way that they turn intent into action. As we see them pretty much building the ship and everything, and Johnny doing his shit. It's like, cool, yes, you have stuff to teach. Together, we helped the Fantastic Four build their spaceship. We were falling in love, and it was easy. Even knowing he was going to leave, even knowing every day how much more that would hurt, it was so easy. How could it not be? He gave me the moon, and I gave him the stars, as we see the ship built. It's like, cool. And then it was time. Work on the rocket finished just as the cloudy season was ending. All that was left was to plot the sky so they know where to aim. There, the first star of the season. And if you'll avert your eyes, everyone, it's traditional on K to kiss if you spot it, for luck. And then I love how Ben's kind of just ribbing him a little bit. For the love of... Can you not hold off on smooching for 2 minutes? Some of us are trying to do science here. I really could have carried you above the cloud line for observations well before now, darling. There's no point until the rocket was ready, and besides, you yourself wanted to experience this world as those indigenous to it do. In any case, there's now ample data for me to... No, there's... I've made some mistake. It doesn't make any sense, honey. The stars, darling. Position, radius, luminosity. All of it. They're exactly what I remember. That's good, ain't it? I mean, it sounds good to me. No, it's not. It's impossible. But it's true, which means, Reed, please tell us what you're thinking. Let us help. And I like that. It's like, okay, Reed is going 1,000 miles a minute in his head. It's happening to me. And it's like, okay, talk about it. See what's kind of going on. The universe is complex, ever-changing, which means the only way this view of the cosmos could be identical to the one I remember is if we were observing it in the same spot at the same time. Ben, Johnny, Sue, there's only one conclusion. We're already home. We haven't gone anywhere. This is Earth. Dun, dun, dun! No, wait, hold on. We haven't Planet of the Apes ourselves here. You said it yourself. K's smaller. It has only one continent. Evolution went completely differently. We don't even have the same cellular structure, right? It's a different world. Hell, there's not even a moon. How can this be Earth if... Dear God, of course, that's it. That's what explains all this, Johnny. Theia. This is Earth without Theia. And then we get an explanation of this, which is actually really kind of cool. I love learning all this kind of science stuff. Early in its development, the solar system had more planets than it does today. Theia was one of them, a Mars-sized world sharing our orbit. And 4.5 billion years ago, before life had even begun evolving here, Theia smashed it into Earth. The impact was beyond apocalyptic. The force of the impact ejected mantle into orbit. The cores of the two worlds merged. That's fucking gnarly, and I kind of love this explanation. Some of the molten rock fell back, and some of it became our moon. This cataclysm changed Earth's size. It changed its tilt, its spin, its orbit, its core. It produced a new world different than the one that formed it. And the impact never happened here. Somehow, someone's gone back and prevented that impact, rewriting the entire history of the world, erasing all life, uncountable non-aliens, from existence. And it's really kind of cool how it's dark and it showcases the planetary impact. This page is fucking awesome. Thank you for the science lesson. We have to go back. We can turn our spaceship into a time ship. It'll take some doing, but I can do it. But should we? If Theia hits Earth, then we live. And if it doesn't, this world lives instead. No matter what we choose, we're doing another version of Earth to non-existence. You're talking about deciding who lives and dies on what I'm pretty sure is the biggest possible scale. Can we... I'm not sure we should be doing that. You could do this, prevent all of us from ever being hatched. Me, my parents, their parents, all the way back. All of us would die. No, we couldn't. We wouldn't. We couldn't, right? Sue, tell her. The thing to quibble. You wouldn't die. You wouldn't have existed. There is a difference there. It's like, yeah, you'd cease existing. Look, all we have right now is a theory. Hell, I don't even see how you could stop the IF from hitting Earth. We need to know what happened. Read, make the changes. We go back and we observe, nothing more. In the meantime, we'll take this to the community here. We won't make any moves without consensus. And I'm including you in that, Angelica, and your people. Thank you, Susan of the Storm. We do this together or we don't do it at all. And I'm like, yeah, because we need to figure out what the fuck is happening here. The discussion went in circles. How do you decide who lives and dies on this scale? You can't. But unanimity emerged. We trusted them, and we had to know more. And as one of the closest to the aliens, one of my people knew the one my people knew they'd listen to, I traveled with them. I was the first of my people to reach space. Susan of the Storm, knowing it was special for me, turned our ship invisible. It's glorious that she was able to see her planet from orbit. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Read, engaging temporal drive in 3, 2, 1, 0. And I fucking love seeing this temporal shift here from one planet to the next. Choom. We made it. That's our original pre-impact Earth, exactly where we'd expect her, moving us 60 orbital degrees ahead to look for Theia. And there it is, ladies and germs. Welcome to Lagrange Point L4, and welcome to Theia. Nothing seems to be exceptional. I brought us to a moment high in temporal energy, but wait, I'm sensing EM radiation similar to the portal there, as we then see pretty much all the nukes of the world pretty much pop up and crack into it. Those missiles, they're nuclear. There's got to be hundreds of them, thousands, a world's arsenal. Not a world's, our world's. Look at the flags on the bottoms, Stretch. They're ours. How? And why would Earth, the dome around Latveria that got us here? That's got to be involved, right? After it sent us here, it would have remained in our world, where other things could impact it too. At some point after we left, nukes got launched at Latveria, and the dome sent those away just as it did us, only to somewhere else, here. It's a credible theory. The dome could be unstable given how Victor is still exploring, still learning his powers as Sorcerer Supreme. So Doom did this? That guy killed the whole world? Only by accident. Victor's ego is such that he never erased himself from existence, guys. They're hitting. It's like, yeah, Doom could be getting used to all the vast kind of powers of the Sorcerer Supreme. I mean, granted, he's pretty well versed with magic and everything, but it could lead to some kind of weirdness like this. It's like, alright, I'll accept it. And Reed's right. Victor wouldn't just unnecessarily erase himself, so he would kind of think of some kind of contingency for at least himself with this happening as it hits the Aya. Hold on, I'm shielding us. And we see a really kind of cool thing where Sue shields the ship. All that energy, enough to just slightly alter Theia's orbit, sending her closer to the sun. So when the time comes, she misses Earth and hits another world instead. But what now? Now that we know, what are you going to do? As they're kind of looking at each other, it's like, Just so we have all the facts, I want to say that I can send our time ship back to before the nukes hit. We could intervene. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So you can, what, kill my girlfriend? If that's what you want to do, Reed, you can just say it. Hey, nobody wants to kill anyone, Johnny. Hey, that's funny because it sure sounds like that's what we're talking about. Her and her entire species. Wow, it's too bad we don't have a word for that. Oh, wait, we do. Genocide. Now, this gets a little bit more heated, but I understand it's for the drama kind of sake. Technically, it would be speciocide, but since it's all species, I suppose the correct term would be omnicide. Omnicide! You're murdering so many people you have to invent a new word for it, and you're considering it. And if we don't intervene, Johnny, we let another one stand. Johnny, we left our kids behind on Earth. Our Earth. And I'm like, does Johnny not love his family? You think I don't know that? Well, guess what? There are kids on Angelica's world too. Plenty of them. What? Yours are special? And it's like, really? Because I'm pretty sure that Johnny's got feelings for, like, Franklin, Val, Nikki, Joe, Pete. any other superheroes? I mean, even if he's in love, I don't think he would go to the complete kind of assholishness here. So this is where I had like a problem with this. Look, I'm sorry, that was harsh, but what I meant to say was, and Ben's like just punches his ass. Yeah. This, I'm just like, okay. I mean, yeah, Johnny wants love and shit like that. He usually kind of gets fucked with it, but I'm like, alright, and the thing is, it's not. It's going with one route or another. Figure out a different kind of way forward. It's like, I was just like, what? It kind of beggars belief for me. I'm like, this is a big problem for me. You don't know what you're saying, Johnny, so I advise you to shut up till you do. Hey, calm down. We don't need to. As he then flames on, it's like, rah. Look, all anyone is saying is that this happened by accident. Now we have a chance to intervene. That's all. Trillions of humans will die if we don't fix it, kid. And trillions of K will die if we do, and they're just as real. We don't get to decide things like this. We have to, Johnny. We can't ignore it and do nothing. You wouldn't be saying that if you cared about this world. It's a world that never should have been. And I don't think that that's a good route for Ben to take either. They kind of go nutty. There's other kind of ways to be thinking about this. Not of killing them, but trying to figure out how to fix this situation. Please, everyone, calm down. We can't let emotion dictate which option we choose here. You're not going to logic me into accepting Omnicide, Reed. There's no good option here. We don't get to do this. You promised them that we go back and discuss things, not wipe them from history. Nobody said we ain't going to do that, Flame Brain. We're just also discussing it now. It's an impossible choice. It is an impossible choice, isn't it? Yes, no matter what you choose, Reed or the Richards, all life on one of our two worlds dies. And then it's like, okay, that sets Reed off. Then it's a misnomer. An impossible choice isn't actually a choice at all. And in that scenario, well, there's only one thing to do, which is to refuse Angelica of the Shore, to choose from the available options to find another way. Yep. Johnny, Ben, I learned from New York that it's best to let others know what I intend to do before I do it, especially if it's likely they won't care for it. So in that spirit, let me introduce you to the Quantum Flux Accelerator. I'm like, thank you, Reed. Thank you for learning what was going on. It should increase the flux within quantum foam across multidimensional axes. I propose to send this back in time to just before the nukes hit Theia, and then their impact tears not just a hole in early Theia, but across space-time too. The nukes hit, producing Angelica's world, and in a parallel universe, a hair's breadth away, they don't, producing Earth. You're going to manually add a new space-time frame to the multiverse. It will be the first instance of one being created technologically, but I believe it's possible. It's like, ooh, this is interesting. It'll tie these two potential universes off in a knot. Well, technically a Mobius strip. Both worlds get to survive. Everybody lives. Reed, that's perfect. And then Angelica can still come home with us, right? Or wait, do I go with her? Hold on, how are we doing this? This is an artificial multiversal creation incident. When it manifests, it'll push us all back into our correct universes and time frames. Okay, so we'll be separated, but hey, we've traveled across the multiverse before, no big deal. We can come visit. Well, Johnny, we can't. Any attempts to introduce one into the other risks collapse of both. Our two worlds, our two universes must forever remain fully separated. Angelica, Johnny, I'm so sorry, but for two of us to live, your relationship must die. It's like, okay, it's that kind of choice. Jeez, Reed, you couldn't find a nicer way to break that to him? I believe I was breaking it nicely and unambiguously. Did I miss the mark? I'm like, no, Reed. Ben can say you can break it nicer, but there's no way of breaking it any nicer than that. Johnny, why does it always have to be me? As we see Johnny crying. You all get love, you know? You get to have a family. It's your family too, you dumb fuck. But when I finally find Angelica, and it's real, and I'm not screwing it all up for once, I get this, everyone else gets a happily ever after. Now, Johnny, it's like, holy fucking shit. For weeks, for months, we got our happily ever after. We got to live it, Johnny. Our impossible love. Don't you see? We did it. We get to remember that for the rest of our lives. Most people's love, most people's relationships, they only save them. But ours is going to save everyone. As we get them having their kiss. Oh, okay. Granted, I don't mind their relationship and everything. But since it's been used to make Johnny and Ben act stupid as shit, it's like, launch the device, Reed. 10 seconds till planet fall in activation. I love you, Angelica. And I'm so glad I got to meet you. I love you. You've been the most exceptional experience of my life so far. Heh, tell me you won't forget me. I won't. I'll never forget you, Johnny of the Storm. You gave me the moon. As we see them hugging. I do like the pink and everything around it. And I give you the stars. And it's like, and then we are back. Swoop, Johnny, I think I'd like to go home now, please. As we see him and kind of Ben in kind of darkness. The barrier's changing. In a few weeks, it might be gone or replaced by something new. Whatever Doom's planning in there, I think we'll have to find. We'll have to wait to find out with everyone else. Agreed. One encounter was risky enough, though it's a shame Matchstick had to bear the brunt of it. Poor kid. Listen, Johnny, I ain't the best at talking about feelings and whatnot, but if you ever wanna, that is to say, if you need I don't know, a shoulder, yeah, I'm good, Ben. Thanks, but I'm good. As he's kind of looking off, but then they make other plans. But if when we get back to New York, you want to watch an incredibly stupid movie while drinking adult beverages and eating an irresponsible amount of chips and chili, you know, I want to say no. Wouldn't miss it, Matchstick. As he then looks off to the moon. Now this is a really cool page with the clouds and the moon. That's awesome. As we get letters and then a tease for the next one. So overall, I had enjoyment of them trying to figure out what was going on, how they got transported, and the kind of situation. However, I wish it didn't get predicated on the fact that Ben and Johnny were pretty much dumbasses. Johnny, most of all, of like, oh yeah, pretty much fuck the kids, and oh yeah, you guys have families. I'm like, you're a part of that family too, you dumb fucking jackass. Oh, it really, like, the art and everything was great. I liked them diving into the concepts and everything with Theia and like the nukes and everything, and Doom pretty much not thinking things completely through and having a kind of fucked up situation that created this other kind of alternate reality. Well, not alternate planet, and then Reed having to fix it by creating pretty much a new multiverse kind of splintering. But Johnny acting the way he was a real negative here and was really fucking stupid. I understand his need for love and everything, but him pretty much just saying, fuck the kids. I'm like, oh, really? What about all your other friends on Earth? I'm like, you're just going for, like, alien booty. So that's pretty much why this was disappointing for me, even though I had enjoyment with, like, the concepts and everything, mainly with Reed, Sue, and Ben, and Johnny just going completely bonkers to kind of, like, bring it down. So we'll see what kind of happens next. Hopefully Johnny will get kind of like a redemption thing, as it's him and Reed kind of dealing with some kind of crazy-ass shit. So hopefully that works out better. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.